For over 10 years, we've traveled across Texas exploring abandoned buildings. One of the very first large buildings we visited was the Falstaff Brewery in Galveston, Texas. At that time, the owner showed us around the facility and we learned about the past history of the building. Today, 10 years later, we have the opportunity to take a look into its future.
Texas is full of lost history. From lost cemeteries to abandoned buildings, from the infamous to the obscure. Hitch a ride and travel across the Lone Star State, looking for hints of Texas' colorful past, our lost history. This is Expedition Texas, and we're gonna find it.
The Falstaff Brewery was built in 1895 by Galveston Brewing Company and manufactured Southern Select beer before being acquired by Falstaff in 1956. By 1960, Galveston's Falstaff Brewery was the nation's third largest and employed more than 400 people, producing roughly 1 million barrels of beer per year. Shortly after relocating Falstaff's headquarters from St. Louis to California, the Galveston Falstaff Brewery closed in 1981. In 2012, we visited the brewery as it lay in ruin in an industrial area of the city. Our guide at the time was the owner, Ralph Stenzel. Ralph owned the building and his family worked at the brewery prior to its closing.
So this is the elevator.
This is the elevator, and it's original to the 1913 bottling shop.
This is the bottom?
Yeah, there's the bottom right there. It's got water in it.
During our original visit, there were surprises around every corner. Among plenty of examples of the 1950s update to the building were remnants of the original 1895 structure, most notably a large archway where the early wagons would load beer to be delivered.
It's all brick and it's just beautiful. I love this.
The stories are there was a couple of spigots on the wall.
Really?
And that anybody could come along during work, and if they had a mug or a cup, they could give them a cold beer.
What a job.
Because everything behind here was refrigerated.
And now, 10 years later, we've headed back to Galveston, Texas to see the old Falstaff Brewery and meet the man who owns it now, Jerome Karam. Jerome Karam, man, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Welcome to Galveston.
Thank you. Well, you know, 10 years ago, we were here at this building, the old Falstaff Brewery, and we toured what was then an abandoned, crumbling building, and you guys are here bringing it back, man. This is amazing. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, we're very grateful to be a part of Falstaff, to be a part of the history of Galveston County. Everywhere we go, people have a story about it, whether their aunt and uncle met here, whether they had their first beer, or they worked, or their grandfather worked. So it's a lot of history, and we're really excited to be a part of it.
As you can hear, this is an active construction site. There's hammering and jackhammers and all kinds of things going on back here. This is going to be just a glowing point in Galveston, Texas, and going to be something that people will want to come see. But I understand you brought some help to tell the story today.
I'm very blessed.
Tell me who all you have
I'm
here.
very blessed with our team. So I have my son Joshua.
Come on in here,
Joshua's an
Joshua.
attorney. I always introduce him as my very, very, very smart son. He's an attorney and he's an MBA, and he now is our chief legal officer.
And we have someone back here with a lot of pictures for us, right?
I introduced her as little Mary Denise Mowat from Oakdale because she's from the same hometown as I'm from,
Really?
Oakdale, Louisiana.
Okay.
And she's turned out to be an amazing designer. None of this would be possible without, you talk about a visionary and a man that trusts me, is Mr. Tom Berry.
Hey, Tom.
And he's with Investor Loan Source.
Yeah.
And next we have Mr. Chris Stubbs. So Chris was our superintendent for,
Hey, Chris.
and he's with Pinnacle Construction of Friendswood, and Chris Stubbs, and he did our indoor climate control storage.
You know, Chris, the last time I was in here, how many stairs I had to climb?
Yes, sir, I do.
I promise you, if anybody knows, he does.
I'd like to shake your hand for the elevator. Thank you. Galveston, Texas, where we've stopped by to visit the old Galveston Brewery. The brewery was established in 1895 and later became the Falstaff plant. Upon that change, the brewery added many different buildings and changed the facade. Among those changes was a giant building where copper kettles brewed the beer. When we first visited in 2012, those kettles were long gone, looted by scrappers. Now that we've returned, this portion of the building has seen new life with the addition of an indoor climate-controlled self-storage facility, a crafty use of a space that some thought was beyond its useful life. But wait till you see what they're doing with the rest of the building. This wasn't here the last time we were here. You know how many stairs we climbed to get through this place? This is awesome.
No more stairs, so if y'all follow us up to the 5th floor, we'll be able to check out the events at the tasting room.
You know, Chris, the last time I was in here, how many stairs I had to climb? Yes, sir, I do.
I promise you, if anybody knows, he does.
I'd like to shake your hand for the elevator. Thank you. This is a very big improvement.
Yes, sir, it is.
So as you guys can see, we are now up on the 5th floor at the events at the tasting room. This was, as I mentioned before, an integral part of the Falstaff compound. You'll notice that this floor is a very specific color terrazzo that matches what the initial and original flooring was whenever it was the tasting room.
Now, I remember this flooring when we were up here. Of course, it was covered with debris, but you could see it under there.
That's
and
right.
I started to ask you if you restored it somehow, but it seems like that would have been impossible.
It was not restored,
Yeah.
and once we met with our consultants at the tax credit agency, they told us that it had to match exactly, and the
Wow.
color was discontinued, and you can imagine how happy the producers of the terrazzo were to hear that we were going to be stuck if we didn't match that specific discontinued color. So, but they were able to match it, and we were able to utilize the tax credits for doing so.
It has almost the exact same feel as when we were up here before, except at that time no windows. And what stayed? Is there anything original about this at all?
So we were able to utilize the outdoor decking. You'll notice that there's an old tile that was still there with the specific planters, and it's actually worked out really nicely. A nice fall, and sometimes in the summers we're able to have bands up here. We've got a bunch of different bar areas and hold a lot of really nice events. So
Well, let's head out, and I mean, you can see the view from in here, but let's head out and check out what you guys did with the outside area, because a lot of that looks completely original.
Yep, that's
all right,
exactly
let's
right.
check it out.
This area was really popular, and the floor somewhere had a design built into it somewhere. I can't remember where, but it had kind of a little bit of a design in it.
this whole compound, it just screamed exactly what JMK5 does. We take old, underutilized, abandoned buildings and we redevelop them. You can see our JMK5 cruise line parking lot, all these open parking spaces around here, which we're going to be able to utilize for the hotel and for the valet.
You know, you talked about you guys taking old properties and bringing them back. I've got about 10 years worth of them on this show that we can show you.
You know what? Let me see them. Actually, don't show Jerome because we need to slow down a little bit. We got too much stuff on our plate right now. He may get a little excited.
We won't show Jerome just yet.
The first time we came to the Falstaff Brewery was over 10 years ago in our very first season. Now you can see the entire episode by ordering the Expedition Texas Season 1 DVD box set. It'll include this entire episode as well as 10 others from that season with behind-the-scenes footage, bonus content, and so much more. Head over to expeditiontexas.tv, click Store, and order the Expedition Texas Season 1 DVD box set and see all of this episode. We We're in Galveston, Texas, revisiting the Falstaff Brewery. Unlike a lot of our stories, this building that was once crumbling along the Texas coast is seeing new life and new uses that will mean that you too can soon enjoy a trip to the Falstaff. One new feature will be a multi-level mezzanine with a bar and lounge areas.
We thought that this lent itself to be a gorgeous, really cool bar. We've kept a lot of the exposed brick. We've got a lot of the steel. A very interesting fact with this building is what we call Building 5. This is going to be the lobby bar. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Mary's came up with a phenomenal design where we're going to feature the bar in the middle. It's going to have some really opulent lighting. We're going to keep a lot of the steel. There's going to be different mezzanine levels so you can kind of, see the building from different angles. And something very interesting about this project, if you look at all the exposed brick, we had to take down every single piece of brick and then put it all back in the exact original spot.
What?
So this project has been a massive undertaking. We're going to leave this exposed brick. We think it adds a lot of charm to the facility, and we're just really excited about the end product.
Wow.
It's going to be amazing.
And look, I love these arches. These are all through this building because that's kind of the 1800s feel of this thing, where you can kind of see the original stuff in here, and it's all throughout this building, and we are very close now to being able to get into that tower where the hotel's going to be.
We're getting closer. We're getting
All
closer.
right.
As we come along this way, we'll segue down into where the lobby area is, which will be directly behind us. But the lobby will take us this way, and then we can go into the tower, which will show where the guest rooms are going to be.
Okay. Okay, so we're getting ready to head into the tower area where you say there's a lot of construction going on, right?
Construction, yes, sir. We're gonna go up the construction elevator. We're gonna exit through one of the windows, which is its existing window.
Okay.
And we're gonna go inside the building, and we'll be able to get a better look of what's going on the interior of the building, so that you have a better idea of what's going on with demo-wise and rebuild-wise.
Awesome. Can't wait to see that. And we're going to ride the construction elevator, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's have some fun.
Right now we're going up to floor 3. That gives us access to building 1, building 2, building 3, building 6, and building 7 through the interior of the building. So we're going to be able to see a lot just by getting off on floor 3.
I'm seeing floors that look way better than when we were in here last time.
Oh yes, sir. There was some concrete that was poured on this floor. The floor was actually lower, so we had to raise that floor up. Okay, in here we're in building 3, and building 3 is one of the last buildings that will demo. So this building is going to idle for a while until we get building 2 demoed and built back up. So
there's almost nothing left.
No, it's corroded really bad. We don't have a lot of people that come in here, but it is in, you can tell it's in pretty bad shape.
I'm a little leery of being in here.
Yeah. Now out here is where we're demoing the wall for building 7. We want to take a look at that so you have an idea how big this job is. So we have this big wall that we're having to demo, and we're having to demo this because there's a lot of clay tile in there, so we can't really secure any of the new steel to it because it's unacceptable. We just can't do it. The below the wall that the wall is riding on is a big beam below this concrete floor that has rolled over the years. So that beam has kind of given way, and so now we have to replace that beam before we can continue building up.
Was that steel?
That is steel.
And I wouldn't doubt that, because looking above us here, another example
Yes.
of a beam. I mean, this one, could flake off in your hand.
Yes, a lot of stuff in here is in bad shape.
When I came in here and there was talk of possibly bringing this back someday, I thought, how?
Yeah.
And just the fact that you guys were able to get in here and do it is amazing.
It really is.
So here we are on top of the Falstaff Brewery, and what a view of Galveston.
We are in Galveston, Texas, exploring the old Falstaff Brewery. The brewery looms large as one of the tallest buildings on the island, mostly thanks to the tower, where multiple mixing processes originally took place. But soon, you'll have a chance to stay in the tower of the soon-to-be-known Falstaff Hotel. Chris has agreed to take us in the construction elevator to see some of the work that's taking place.
Here's a better look at what we're having to sandblast.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, this is some of the original steel in here, and we're sandblasting it down to get it back down to the bare metal, inspect it, and prime it.
And we're way up, and we're clinging to the outside of the building here with this elevator.
Yes.
It's so cool, and a little scary.
Nah, we're good. Everything is good. This is inspected once a month. We have the scaffold company that comes out and gives us a good inspection. They test everything. We feel very safe and confident using the elevator. All right, through here we got to take the steps up. This stairwell will get us back up to the very top where we can be on top of the roof. Now, when we get out on the outside of the roof, that is going to be a bar area, an outside bar area. That's the plan for the top of this building.
You know, Chris, the last time I was here, these pieces of plywood weren't here.
No, sir, they weren't.
That's just open.
That is an open area that will one day be windows installed there. But right now we put plywood on there for safety and protection when we're going up and down the steps.
Well, I know we stayed really close to the trails.
Yes, I understand. Okay. So out here, what we've done is we scraped off the old roofing material. On construction-wise, we're going to put up another frame on top of this. We're going to box it in, and there's going to be an extra stairwell here that goes down through building 2 all the way to the ground so that we have 2 places of egress. We will put glass panels around the parapet wall so that everybody will have some type of safety barrier and not fall over the parapet wall.
What a view, though. I mean,
isn't it beautiful? This is great.
There's only one view that's slightly better.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you this, and you may say no, but when we were here before, I was able to go up that ladder and kind of get the big view of Galveston.
Yes.
Can I do that again?
Yes, sir, you can. It's very safe up there. Help yourself.
Next, we're wrapping up our time at the Falstaff the same way we did in 2012, with a climb to the highest point of the building.
So here we are on top of the Falstaff Brewery, and what a view of Galveston. Unobstructed, 360 degrees all the way around, and this great building is making a comeback. So it's really weird being out here. What once was just an abandoned old building in Galveston is now a very, very active construction site, and I can't wait to see what they do with this thing and what it's going to be when it's all done. And the things they've already completed are just insanely better and going to be a really cool thing to come see, and I'm definitely coming back here to Galveston to see this place when it's done. Josh, amazing what you guys have done with this place.
Thank you so much.
So cool to see it. Thanks for coming and showing us around, and for introducing us to Chris and everybody that's out here, and just sharing their knowledge with us, man.
Absolutely. This has been a huge project for JMK5. We could not have done this without the incredible expertise of all of our team members. It's been a lot of fun. We invite you guys to come back down. Y'all came here originally when it was vacant.
Yeah.
Y'all are here for the construction phase, so now we've got to invite y'all down for the grand opening.
Oh, yeah.
And to come check it out, come hang out by the pool, and come have a drink and some stuff.
You have to let us know when it's over, man. We will be back.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much,
Thank
man.
you, guys.
All
It was
right.
great having y'all.
Though the making of beer at this plant is a bit of its long-lost past, there will be tributes to Falstaff all throughout this building. Soon you'll be able to visit and even stay the night. It's heartening to find that some of the places we visited along the way on this show are making major comebacks. This is the case with the Falstaff and several others we visited over the years. Down the road, there's another lost legend waiting to be discovered, and on Expedition Texas, we're going to find it.